When it's literally the middle of the night, you make YouTube videos. Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back, and I don't think I've ever made a video before like in the middle of the night. So, night edition when I'm like in pajamas. Today, just wanted to, upload something that I thought would be a good follow-up to my last video, which was about how to deal with anxiety issues. Speaking of anxiety, I woke up this morning with like crippling anxiety and stayed in bed until like 1 p.m. I should have looked at my own video. But beyond that, I'm good now, by the way. I'm good. But I did want to make a serious video that I think could be very helpful to many people. Today we're going to be talking about suicide. I think that suicide is something that in society we don't like to talk about because it sort of makes us feel like uneasy a little bit. I think it's part of that humanity side, or like part of that, like, I'm not even sure what to describe, like something within like humans, I think, because that it's the act of someone taking like their own life. It's the same way with killings, I think, shootings a lot. It's the act of, something that preventable more so than like, cancer or other diseases that like, just kind of happens unless you're like a smoker, and then I guess like cancer is not your fault, but it doesn't help. So like suicide, killings, like these types of deaths, I feel like make people like very uneasy. And that's why a lot of times a lot of people don't really know much about it. I mean, beyond the fact that like, yes, suicide, someone commits suicide by killing themselves. So today I want to talk about, what do you do when you feel suicidal? If you're wondering from experience, I do have experience with this. Again, like my last video, I'm not a professional, so like don't take my advice like as professional advice. Take it as experiential advice. But personally, yes, I have had, suicidal ideation and suicidal thoughts in my life, unfortunately. I am good now. It's the middle of the night, so I'm not making this video out of, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, I should make a video about it. No, I have insomnia. But for people who currently maybe who are watching this, who are feeling suicidal, I know sometimes it's really hard, and that's a complete understatement. Actually, it's literally like, you're trapped in a cage, and not like a big cage, like a tiny cage. You can't move at all, and I know it can have physical ailments. I know it sucks. You can't really say it's okay. You can't really say that I know it's hard. You can't, like, those phrases, people say them all the time, and I know I just did, but I don't mean to get real serious on you guys, but this is a serious topic, in that you really just have to push through. What helps me, I guess I'll start there, or what helped me in those times, I feel like, it's just realizing that, you've made it this far, like, and think of it not as anything but yourself, but think of it more as an illness, because it is an illness. Depression, bipolar depression, all these different mental illnesses that can cause depression or cause suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation. It's an illness, so you really just have to look at it that way. You have to know that it's a curable illness, depression or whatever mental illness you may have that might be causing these suicidal thoughts. You have to know that it's a curable illness, and that the only way it ends in death is your decision. I think that for me was important because I knew that I would get better. I knew that, as time went on, I just had to wait for time. And I know that sucks because it also feels like you're just like waiting, each day. And each day becomes weeks, and then sometimes months, and sometimes years in many people's cases. And that you were physically exhausted, but knowing that it was curable, and it wasn't something that, with the right help, knowing it, that I could get better, helped me a lot. So some things that have helped me when I'm in this place is really the first one is if it's at night or even if it's during the day, or if it's sometime when you're alone and you're at home, take a nap or go to sleep. I know that sounds kind of like shitty almost, in the sense that like, oh, I feel this way almost all the time, so should I be sleeping all the time? It's not that, it's just that specifically, I know I personally felt these feelings when I was alone and at night more strongly. I mean, I might have felt them throughout the day, but it was stronger at night. But sleeping, I remember my therapist a while ago told me that at the end of the day, our bodies are mentally and physically tired. So the feelings are stronger at night because naturally, your defenses are worn down. You're tired, literally. Take a nap, turn off your phone, turn off the TV, and just try to go to sleep. Sometimes it's accompanied by insomnia. That wasn't the case for me. I was just tired all the time. But if you can go to sleep, go to sleep. Just in general, I'd say, which also helped with anxiety, I said in my last video, is to watch something funny on TV. It just sort of distracts you, It's like, could be like, I mean, my thing I think was like Family Guy. It wasn't even like a serious show. It was like one of those shows you can kind of play like in the background while you're ironing or like doing work or whatever. It's just kind of like a show that people have seen most times, and like you kind of repeat episodes, but it's like kind of funny, so you like continue to watch it. I sort of watch something stupid like that, or a stupid show. I think that when we're watching TV and it's not serious, because a lot of TV shows these days have a lot of problems that everyone deals with, and like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I get kind of emotional. So like right now on my Netflix, I have like a whole bunch of shows that like I like have chopped up like into little different pieces. So like I started shows in January that I haven't finished, and there's only like 15 episodes in the season, but like I was getting a little stressed, and like I had to stop because like they're wearing me out. It's a little bit too much right now. I have anxiety issues, and this show gives me anxiety. That's why funny shows relax you, and you kind of just, you might not think you do that. You might not think you'll do this, but literally, when you're watching if you just watch it, you'll notice you're not thinking about anything anymore besides what was funny, and laughter is almost contagious. It's hard not to, well, I guess they're not really laughing on the show if they're telling jokes, but it's hard not to laugh at things that are funny. Bro, the first time I was like kind of ever experienced depression was like middle school going into high school, and Vine was like still a big thing. I know Vines are now, but like I think because they have like the meme video on like Facebook, that's become bigger. But Vine, like you could go like on everyone had like the Vine app. Vines made me like, it felt everything was better because like I would just naturally laugh at things. Or memes today. Duh. Just look at some memes. Like, to be honest, just anything that will get your mind out of where you currently are, which sleeping does. Memes, I would say, you could always ask a friend to come over. I know that's kind of tough sometimes too, because you're like, I don't know, these people are thinking I'm a burden, or like, you have like all these racing thoughts, and sometimes you don't want to reach out. I mean, this video is so unorganized, but like I hope what I've said has kind of helped. Oh, I guess if you know a person who's struggling with suicidal thoughts or that type of thing, but you personally aren't, I would say the way to help that person is to really just try to be there for them. So I mean, like being there for them, which is like an obvious thing, but like texting them just to say like, I found this cool thing, talk about yourself, or ask them something random about their life. Like, let's say you two are in a class together in high school. You could literally say, like, the teacher did something weird today. Did you see that? Notice that? Could just don't even mention it. You just talk and just keep talking, because that's how you get off the subject, and that's how they don't think about it, and it's so much better for them than saying, like, something about what's going on with them. If they do want to talk about what's going on with them, that's obviously, like, fine. Don't say, like, no, we cannot talk about this. But that's, only like if they really want to, you can ask, like, do you want to talk about it, or do you want to do something else? Even if like you're in that like a place with them and you guys aren't doing shit, you can come over to their house, take them. I don't really ever feel like leaving when I was experiencing this, so you can like try to take them somewhere, but like I was like, fuck no. So you can like just kind of hang out with them, like just say like, hey, like, are you doing anything? No, I'm not doing anything. Let's just like chill, just sit here, or on our phones and watching TV, anything. Just it's sort of less about like helping them get over it in a sense, because like that's honestly what doctors are for and psychiatrists and professionals. As a friend, you really should just literally be there for them, not, you know, because of their problems necessarily, like, or not trying to fix their problems necessarily. And if it's an emergency, like if it's if someone like texts you or like, you know, calls you about it, either like get to that person's place, like if you are nearby, like right away, like even if they say don't come over, but they're like, I can't do this, don't come over, I'm about to end it. I would say still go over there, like if it's like on campus or somewhere, or like, you know, like down the street from your house, just like see if everything's okay. I mean, they might not, you know, be 100% ready to do it and 100% sure, but it's, you know, at that point it is nice to get over there. And if you can't get over there and like they're serious as in they either stop talking to you, typically, I mean, like if they say it, sometimes they might like still be willing to get talked out of it, and they'll like, you know, continue texting you or continue calling you. But like if someone like texts you and like they don't respond or doesn't answer your calls, I would call 911 and send them to that person's house, or call someone who also is at that house, because suicide is a very, very, very serious problem, and we need to take it very, very, very seriously, because it does happen, and when it happens, it's sad. And yeah, but yeah, so I hope this has helped. Hope you're not like necessarily watching this at the time I'm making this video, because like, sorry to watch this before you go to bed, but it's all good. I'll put up some happier videos, but I felt like this was very necessary and very important. Peace out.